Hey, sports fans, Rich Flaherty here. Sunday morning, got a little coffee going. Gotta love strong coffee in the morning on Sunday. Coming to you live from the Flaherty deck. I know some of you have seen the Flaherty deck. We moved that damn jacuzzi used to be over there, but here's the Flaherty deck and our patio down there. And if you look closely, there's a hole in the ground that used to be a pond until the big birds came and ate all of our koi fish, so it hasn't been refilled yet. But again, here for the kickoff of SOFA 2023. I know. So the league really started on Thursday, but I had no players, so I really didn't even care. And plus, you had the Louisville Cardinals on TV at the same time, so I didn't even watch the damn game. So I'm glad I didn't because it sounded like it was not a great game overall. But anyway, let's get to SOFA. That's the most important thing. I'm going to try to see if I can get a draft recap. I apologize. Things got a little hectic this week, so I didn't get a chance to finish that up. But I'll try to see if I can get something out to you guys through the year, or sometime this week. But we do have week one. We do have week one. We're very excited about it. So let's go to the games. Game number one is Venus versus Oz, which is kind of interesting, Venus versus Oz, but that's a whole nother story. Key thing here in this game is the quarterbacks. Venus has got some great wide receivers, fantastic wide receivers. The running backs aren't so great. Uh, Oz has got some good across the board. Fought three good running backs, two good wide receivers. So it's really going to come down to the quarterback. And I think, as some people know, the key thing that happened at quarterback was Oz decided after the players they wanted were gone in the draft, they decided they're going to be streaming this year for quarterback. They did try to trade this week to a couple of the owners in the league who seem to have a very cockeyed view of what value is when you're comparing a second string quarterback or even in some cases a third string quarterback on their team against starters, but not going to go down that path. So let's go to the game. So the first game, again, Venus versus Oz. Again, it's going to come down to the quarterback. It's Fields versus Carr. The other players are all wash out, and Carr is who Oz picked up. If Carr can stay within 4 points of Fields, then Oz will pull out a close victory of 91.9 to 88.4. But if Fields goes off and Carr does not keep up, then it's going to be an easy win for Venus. So first game, 91.9, 88.4 to Oz. Game number two is our, ooh, sorry, it's early in the morning. So very early in the morning. And I'm sorry. This is our Yonder game of the week. Yonder game of the week, Halfway House versus Louisville Share. Very close game, nail biter. 79.2 to 78.7 in favor of Halfway House. You look at these two teams and you wonder, were they in the same draft as the rest of us? Although, again, Share does have Chubb, which is and Jones if Aaron Jones comes back. Halfway House has Pierce, and they do have Devontae Adams. But outside of that, that's about all either team has. So again, this is going to be our Yonder game of the week, not one you're really going to want to spend too much time watching. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Halfway House does have Hursts. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. My personal assistant in fantasy football has just arrived. Everyone say hi to Edward. There's our cat, Edward. Edward, look at the camera. Damn cat. Look at the camera. There you go. All right. So, again, yeah, Halfway House does have Hurst, but again, it's going to be a Yonder game. 79.2 for Halfway House, 78.7 in a close nail biter slap fight. Game number three is Hang versus G-Men. G-Men, the number one team rated by CBS. And honestly, TFL, as we did our analysis, we agree. G-Men's got a fantastic team. We allowed them to draft some awesome players, and I'm not sure anybody's going to really be able to keep up with G-Men, except maybe Venus if they can figure out the running back issue. So it's Hang versus G-Men. Hang does have a Herbert and does have Christian McCaffrey. G-Men though counters with Allen and Eckler, and then has a whole slew of other strong players beyond that. They've got Lamb, they've got Metcalf, they've got Najee Harris. If Najee Harris, does what everybody expects him to do. So at this point, it looks like it's a fairly easy victory for G-Men, 93.9 to 86.5. But the key thing here is to watch is and I think it's going to be for Hang all season, is what happens with Arizona, and because they have Connors as their running back. If Connors does what he normally does, or has done the last few years, even though they have absolutely nobody at quarterback, and well, then Hang's gonna hang tough in most games and could pull out some victories. But if everything that everybody's saying with Arizona is that they're going to be one of the two worst teams in the league, along with the Rams, then I think this is going to be a tough year for Hang, and they're going to really need Christian McCaffrey and Herbert to pull them through. But again, victory for G-Men here, 93.9 to 86.5. Game number 4 is the Fat versus MVH. Again, another battle game. If you look at this, you've got huge running backs for the Fat: Henry, Stevenson, Madison. They've got Waddle. They don't have that second wide receiver at all, and Judy, who they were going to start, isn't even going to play most likely. So they'll probably end up hopefully changing over to Lockett. MVH, did the Cardinals sin of drafting Mahomes in the first round, and that really affected the rest of their draft. The rest of their players just didn't, they couldn't fill with the rest of the players. So um, because of Fat's strength in the running backs, and with Waddle, assuming that Waddle plays well, and they have Cousins, and we'll see if Cousins can even keep up anywhere close with Mahomes. But I don't think it's really going to matter in this game. This should be an easy victory for Fat. It's going to be 91.2 to 84.4. Next game is Girls on the Beach against Huckleberry. And this is another close game. We actually have one, two, three, four close games, and then two, I would say, blowouts, but games that are stretched a little bit. And probably Fat. If I had to pick a blowout game of the week, it's probably going to be Fat versus MVH. But I'm not sure I can even call that one on that. So we have another close game with Girls on the Beach versus Huckleberry. Battle of quarterbacks here. Trevor Lawrence versus Burrow. You've got the Mixon, Jacobs, Sanders running back trio versus the Robinson, Montgomery running back trio. I think that's very cool, James, that you picked both the Robinsons. I always love to have the same name on two players. So again, some really good matchups here. Just be in positions. Huck is a little bit at a disadvantage because they're missing their second wide receiver. So they have to play a backup there. Um, Girls on the Beach have good, strong, also wide receivers. That's with Samuels and Ridley. So again, a great matchup here. Both are going to score pretty well. But unfortunately for Huck, I believe that loss of one of their wide receivers is going to hurt them. And Girls on the Beach is going to start 1-0 with a 90.4 to 88.1 victory. So congratulations to Girls on the Beach. TFL is with you. Jinx! All right, final game of the week. This is No Way in Hell Hall against ED. And another close game. This one's 1.5 points difference between the two teams. No Way in Hell Hall has a decent team. They've got Prescott okay at quarterback. They've got Swift, Walker, Dillon. They're starting Dillon. I'm not sure about that one. Um, but the key thing for them is somehow they were able to get Brown and Chase. So AJ Brown and Jamar Chase as wide receivers. Two players that should never have been on either end of a draft process, but they were able to get them both. So definitely a strong team for No Way in Hell Hall. But wait, don't give them the victory yet, because don't forget, ED does have Lamar. ED did get Barkley. They got Gibbs, which again, that's right now early in the season is probably not going to give them as much, and we saw that the other night. Gave them some points, but not a huge amount of points. The wide receivers, they got Higgins, they got Allen, they got McLaren, who may or may not play, and that could affect the game. But ED has a good base, strong team across the board. It's just whether or not they're that fifth position, that flex position. They're going to have somebody who's going to be consistently strong there. So in this game here, Lamar's really the secret. He's the one that's going to pull the victory out. He is about a 3.5 point favorite over Prescott in points from TFL's rankings, and we see this as being an ED 82.2 to 86.7 victory over No Way in Hell Hall. So there you go, week 1. Hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful Sunday. It's going to be, I guess, beautiful, although it's kind of cloudy out right now. I was kind of hoping it was going to get a little more sunny than yesterday, but have a fantastic, good luck to everybody. Have a great week on your fantasy football, and we'll see you next week with the results show.